Hello, this is Ken Williams, and today I am very excited to show you the fastest and easiest way to roll out Google Analytics 4 on a website if that website uses Google Tag Manager. We're going to do this with a free brand new tool released by Apollo Platform, and I'm going to walk through exactly how to do it. So first of all, here's an example Google Tag Manager container that I've created. You can see I've just got a couple of Google Analytics tags in here. I've got some triggers and some variables set up. And just to show you an example, let's imagine I have a website today, and anytime somebody clicks on a download link, this custom event fires to Universal Analytics with a category of download link, an action of click, and a label of whatever the URL is of that link I just clicked on. In order to get this into Google Analytics 4 the old way, I'd come in and I'd create a Google Analytics 4 tag, and I'd link that same trigger to it. This can be time consuming. So what Apollo does is it lets me go ahead, generate a new GA4 property. So I've just done that. I've got one stream in here. So I've just set up at analytics.google.com the very basics of a GA4 property. I come in here, I'm gonna keep an eye on this measurement ID, and then I'm gonna go to apolloplatform.com. Now, Apollo does a whole lot of things. If you click on login, you can see a screen to log in, but if you've never logged in before, you can click the sign up button. What the sign up button does is it drops you on this page. You can see there are several different tiers. What we're going to walk through today is just the free tier. You can click Get Started Now, and it'll take you through a sign-in process. I've already created an account, so I'm just going to come over here and click Log In and sign into my account. And the key here is just to make sure you're authenticating with the same Google account that has access to your Google Tag Manager container. As you'll see, that's going to be important in a minute. Once I sign in, there's a concept of properties. Now, a property in Apollo is a container in Google Tag Manager. So I come down here, I can click Add a New Property. And what it's going to do is let me choose a name. I'm going to say, this is my test website. And I'm going to let it know I'm using the free version. It uses Google Tag Manager. And I can choose, am I migrating Universal Analytics tags to GA4, or am I doing a brand new, fresh implementation? For this demo, I'm going to choose migrate and click next. What you'll notice is that Google wants you to authenticate several times through this process because we're using different APIs. It's a little annoying, but hopefully you can just click continue every time. And on this screen, my next thing I have to do is choose a container. And my Google Tag Manager information has all been loaded in the background. So all the accounts I have access to will show up here. I'm going to choose my test GTM account, and all the containers in that account will show up here. I've only got one, so it's easy. Each container has versions. So if I look in Google Tag Manager, you can see this is a simple one I created for this demo. It was empty. I added those tags I showed and I deployed it. So I've got two versions. The most recent is called initial deployment. So that's the one I'm going to want to choose. Back over here, I'll select initial deployment. And then I need to enter the measurement ID. This is the stream ID. It tells Google where that data needs to roll in. I'm going to come to my stream details page, copy it from there, paste it into that box, and hit finish. Immediately, it drops me to this deployment page. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click Deploy Now. Got to authenticate to Google one more time to do this. And I'm going to let it run through this process, which takes usually about 2 or 3 seconds per tag you have. There are some limits on the Google Tag Manager API that makes it run a little bit slow, but it's still a whole lot faster than getting in and creating a whole bunch of new event tags myself. Oh, there we go. Deployment is successful. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to Google Tag Manager and see what it did. So when Apollo deploys, it creates a new workspace. Now you can see I've got a new Apollo workspace created just a minute ago. And if I click on that, I can see I've had 5 new tags created that start GA dash, a configuration tag, and 2 variables. Let's take a quick look. The configuration tag is just the basic GA4 configuration tag, just like you might expect. It's loaded in here. It's got a my measurement ID. Well, my measurement ID is placed inside of a variable called lookup table variable. That's what LTV means. So if I click here, I can see that basically, if I'm using a live environment or staging environment, it's always using the same one. But it lets you come in here and play around with this if you want to send those to different locations. Now I've got all of these events created. And if I come over to my tags page, I can see the new GA4 events right next to the old Universal Analytics ones. So let's take a look at download links. This was my old Universal Analytics custom event. Whenever the trigger download links fired, I'd get a custom event with a category download link, an action of click, and a label of whatever the URL was of the link that I clicked on. Now there's a new tag, download links GA4 migration. When I look in here, I've got the same trigger applied, and I've got 3 parameters that are grabbing the same exact values. I have a new event name called download link click, and everything that was being tracked in Universal Analytics is now also being tracked in GA4. Now you might be thinking to yourself, well, that's very simple and basic and I need to customize. Well, that's true, but what we just did here will save you at least 15 minutes of effort, all for free, just by clicking a couple of buttons. So this ought to, in many cases, get you 50, 70, 80% of the way through a migration to GA4 with only a couple of seconds to do the work. And in some cases, it might actually take you all the way there. There are, as we showed a minute ago, different levels of Apollo, and those higher levels allow you to do a lot more strategic work, like align a download event in Universal Analytics to a specific event name that you want to have in GA4. There are other things that you can do, but this quick and dirty way is a great way to get started. If you've got a lot of websites you work with, this could hopefully give you a big step of efficiency, and then you can get into Google Tag Manager and make those other tweaks. My goal is to be able to say that we've done more GA4 implementations than anyone else. So we're giving this away for free. We want lots of people in there using it. Test it out. Give us feedback if you have problems with it. You can always come to Apollo platform, click on the intercom, chat with us. If you're interested in learning more about what Apollo can do, let us know. If you have ideas on ways we could improve it, also let us know. We'd love to hear your feedback. We hope you get lots of value out of this tool, and we hope it becomes really easy to get yourself, your clients, those stakeholders that you work with to adopt Google Analytics 4 with a small amount of friction as possible. Thanks.